This is really well fortified because this isn't a full-on push. This is just a nice little drop. And like NTT's play is his mech. This is like an awesome. This is, you can't call it his mech play. You can't call it Bayou. You can just call it Terran versus Zerg. And look, he's just all over the place. He's just really active with his units. But he's safe. He's like safe everywhere still. And that, I think that is the key to mastering TVZ is applying pressure while keeping safe. And these Ultralists were hungry, but now they're disappointed. He's gonna try. Oh boy! Oh, drop him! And I just feel I'm feeling bad for Dimaga right now because this is hard to deal with without Corruptors. I mean, without Corruptors, you're never really gonna deal with this. The Fungal Growth was a nice touch, but there's plenty of medevacs, unfortunately. Yeah. We still haven't seen an attack from Zerg yet. And he's like, F this shit! I'm bringing all the Ultralisks. Oh, that was like, you know, a bunch of pregnant chicks, I guess. I was going to make some John and Kate +8 joke, but that's like so like 2009. You know what I'm saying? Octomom or whatever. I don't know. I don't watch the news that much, but I should. But I prefer to live in my own little sci-fi world here. And looks like this little drop here is going to get squelched? Queef? It's going to get stopped. Stymied, if you will. Perturbed. That wasn't that. I don't think that was the right word. But those other ones were. But checking out the income tab. Yeah. Protoss? Zerg is still doing alright, but definitely not ideal for our buddy right now. And what's he making? Oh, there's the battle cruisers coming. When the battle cruisers start dropping, Ultralists start popping. Yes. And that's an original. You can use that. Damn, this game's long and awesome. I actually am enjoying this game a lot just because I like watching people that understand this matchup way better than me play Terran. And NTT obviously does. He's got this guy floating here because there's no more minerals. Unfortunately for him. And if you've been watching my TVZs lately, let's stop for a pop quiz. Why is Zerg looking bad? What can Zerg do right now? What can Zerg do? If your answer was Tritonitis, you win the cookie. Because Zerg will always have a mobility advantage, even over a pure bio army to a degree, but against a big old Thor tank bio mix like this, he could definitely be sneaking in Nidus here. I mean, look at that. Ultralists right here, they don't give a shit about a planetary fortress. No, sir. But the Terran equivalent of Nidus Worm has been very active this game. And the Terran equivalent of Nidus Worm, of course, being dropships. And as you can see, all game he's been using them. And Zerg has really not been exploiting his potential mobility. I'd even go for some of those Overlord drops, make them extra pregnant. Then they'd really be Octomoms. I mean, anything to really hit the map, you know, as Zerg is really important. And I gotta give mad props to Dimaga for not making Mutalisks. Obviously, they wouldn't do anything at this stage in the game, but... Oh, there's the 250mm strike cannons going down. Oh my god, just stunning and killing Ultralisks all over the place. Good lord. There's like 2 Ultralisks here with a hit point. Look at this. This Ultralist has 3 hit points. But yeah, dropping some Hydras, dropping some Ultras. The Thors are going to have to get out of here. That was actually pretty good. Sitting on 14,000, 5,000 is NTT. So yeah, he's doing alright. I'm assuming everything he has is, yeah, 3-3. Oh my god. Well, dude, you're sitting on all that money, bro. You got 3-3 vehicles. Get 3-3 everything. You might as well, you know? You're certainly not spending it on anything else right now. But yeah, sometimes that's hard to remember when you're trying to execute a big ol' macro game like this. So I'm not gonna discredit him. But see this stuff Terran is doing? Zerg is equally capable. Zerg is completely equally capable of doing this sort of play, and they just oftentimes don't. I don't get it, really. Hello, I'd like out of here. Why am I in this Overlord? Why am I in the Overlord? Gonna clear out some more room to mine. Very prudent play there from NTT. Ensuring more economy, even when maxed, is always the sign of a smart player. So here comes some ultras, and you know, this is fine. This is a cool little counter, but I mean, even this, I mean, it's really difficult for Terran to come stop this, even with his dropships and stuff. Just because his stuff is just so like you don't want to move this junk. You know, these guys are slow. These guys are slow. These guys are fastened to the ground. You know, and it's frustrating, I guess, to see Dimaga not. I mean, such a high-level player, but he doesn't have that. I guess that Korean style hasn't quite hit Europe and U.S. yet of Zerg. That's going to, and when it does, I know I'm going to want to shoot myself because I'm going to lose so many games when U.S. Zerg start realizing their map control and movement potential. I mean, with the creep. Oh, sorry, I probably just missed, like, I was probably watching battlecruisers float around and missed, like, the biggest battle of all time. Yeah, he's down to 163 food. Should I rewind? Yeah, let's rewind a little bit. Sorry about that, guys. I was ranting. Let's go back to 28, and we'll see what went down. So here's battlecruisers over here killing off this expansion. Sorry I missed all this, but I was talking about the overall scope of the game, of the matchup. So these guys haven't attacked yet, and yeah, just a lot of pressure. Okay, here's where he was clearing out that space. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit so we get back to where we were. Long distance, and that's really long distance mining. And I don't like these drones' chances right now. I feel like... And battlecruisers are so cool. Oh my god. Look how awesome their little lasers are. Oh, they're not little lasers, they're big lasers, but you know what I mean. So here comes a Hydra force, and here comes... God, that's a retarded number of Ultralisks, I gotta say. And Corruptors, okay, Corruptors are what was over here. And Corruptors are really, really, really good against battlecruisers, as you can see. Yeah. And at the same time, okay, so now I'm understanding what's happening in this game a lot more now that I'm not talking about Zerg mobility. As this is happening, battlecruiser pressure is going to come up here in the main, try and kill some of the tech buildings so we won't be able to make Ultralisks or whatever. But a very, very, I mean, you could easily describe the overall strategy of the Terran here to be passive. But he was so aggressive while being passive. And I don't mean that in the way like my coworker used to be, where he'd be like, no, yeah, that's fine, get that for lunch. And then I'd go get like Subway, and he'd be like, I hate Subway. Not that kind of passive-aggressive, the good kind of passive-aggressive. And again, I've got to reiterate, keeping aggressive while staying safe from counterattacks. If you master that, you will never lose to a Zerg, unless they're a really amazing Zerg. Because, I mean, has Terran really felt vulnerable to you at any point? The only way I think he could be vulnerable is at its expansions with Nidus Worms. And that didn't happen. So really, this is just a losing battle for Zerg this whole game. But he's been keeping it real, though. I mean, I'm not saying... I mean, he's definitely been on the disadvantage this whole game, I'd say. What did I just press N for? There's the 3-3 upgrades finishing. There we go. Greater Spire's going down, and the Flyer attack's just starting, so... And Terran can... I mean, Dimaga can completely win this game, right? Like, he is not even close to out of this game. That's a scary ball right there. Like, you don't want to, run naked up to that and, screaming about the swarm. But this is no pushover either. We're going to see a really big fight, and here it is. Corruptor's coming to handle the battlecruisers. I think there might be too many Corruptors here, but they are really effing up these battlecruisers with the ground force. Man, the Ultralisk really tore it up. Oh man, this is amazing. A great push from Dimaga. 3-3 Ultralisk with 5 armor. Do not F around, my friends. And if you take anything away from this game, take that. 3-3 Ultralisk with 5 armor. Do not F around. And now he's getting Broodlords. Uh-oh. Terran's in panic mode. He's like, oh man, I worked so hard this game. Dear God, no. So yeah, producing Marauders, Thors, Vikings. I don't know about Vikings again. I mean, of course they're good against Corruptors, but that's kind of a wash. Oh right, he's making Broodlords. Good thing he's playing and not me. Otherwise, I would have just made Marines. Broodlords, of course. So yeah. Any BCs coming out of here? No, just Vikings. Lots and lots of Vikings. And Vikings are so good. Thors and Vikings. That's all we're gonna make. Okay, that's fair. I don't have a problem with that. Especially if these Corruptors get clumped. So here comes the Broodlords. They're only 1-1. He could have had those upgraded sooner, actually, if he had remembered. But here comes a lot of Vikings, and these Broodlords are going to go down like my mother on a date with an Italian man. So, yeah, so much for the Broodlord plan. And, yikes, yeah, the Corruptors were just not there. Oh, that's a heartbreaker. He actually could have stood a pretty fair chance of that fight if his Corruptors had... Where were you guys? What were you doing? Like, oh, man, that's painful. We were at Corruptor Dance Club. That was the worst joke I've ever made. And... sorry, I thought that kind of made up for it. But, yeah, I think Dimaga just threw away his game. He needed to have his Corruptors there, and he would have been just fine, especially with these. I mean, basically, he got a big advantage, and he got really excited and just tried to win the game right then and there, instead of re-macroing it and getting a really nice big force with his Broodlords, and he kind of threw away his army. Ugh, that's brutal. Dimaga. I am so sorry, dude. But, yeah, it's a lot of Thors and a lot of Vikings. Yikes. And, yeah, I would say Zerg played really well, except for the lack of harassment and Nidus mobility stuff. Not very many counters, so overall, that stuff wasn't that great. But Dimaga played really well. Really good core play, I guess, is what I would call it. And then he kind of, he had a very, very, very hair-thin lead and threw it away. Of course, NTT having 14,000, 5,000 in the bank probably didn't hurt either. So yeah. I don't know what these SCVs are doing. They're freaking out. And yeah, there's just nothing Zerg can do about this stuff. Lordy, that's a lot of Vikings. That dude made a lot of Vikings really fast off of 3 starports. Jesus. And yeah, 3-3 Thors also don't F around, just in case you were wondering whether or not they F'd around. They don't. Like the large Mountain Dew at Panda Express, it just does not fuck around. Like, it's huge and it's serious. So, I really wanted Zerg to win that game because... Well, actually, no, I didn't, because he should have won that game if he had, well, played better. And I know that's so dumb coming from an 800-point Terran who could never stand a chance of beating this guy, but it's like he really kind of ignored a big facet of his race's strength, and he lost for it. So there's 250mm strike cannons. Yikes. See, and that's the problem with the 250. It has a cast time, like a channeling time. So by the time they're all, here we go, baby. It's like the Ultralists have already just run up and they're already swinging. So, smiley face, GG. from Dimaga, and that was an excellent game. I'm glad I cast that game. Going to quit replay now, and I'm going to talk while StarCraft 2 closes.